How likely is it we're going to see you fight on the Feb card?
I think it's pretty likely. You know, you got Ilia and Max fighting next weekend. So I'll be there watching, you know, keeping a close eye on that one, obviously. Maybe get into the face-off. We'll see what happens with the winner. But hopefully fighting the winner here in Australia, in Sydney, right? That's definitely what we want. Just depending on what happens. You got, you know, if Max wins, is he going lightweight doing the BMF? So will that mean I'm doing a interim title here, you know, against a Lopez or something? I'm not sure. But if Ilia wins, you know, whether they can bring him to Sydney, we'll see. But that's obviously the plans. That's what the UFC want. That's what I want. And I think that's what everyone here in Australia wants as well.
For sure. And you mentioned you're tipping Max, looking at the fight. You mentioned just earlier you're tipping Max to win the fight. Is that better for yourself if Max wins? Or?
Look, it's a tricky one where I want the Ilia fight so I can get that win back, right? But what makes it likely that I fight soon and fight here in Sydney is Max winning. I think the chances of me fighting in Australia, in Sydney in February is if Max wins. The chances are a lot higher then. And I am picking him to win.
Well, you think Max is winning this, but what do you make of that? What do you make of the weird face-off they had that Ilia and Max had when they
FaceTime the
video
call? Yeah. I mean, like, good on Ilia. You got to remember, it's not his first language, and he's happy to take it on and promote the fight and do it in ways that probably a little bit uncomfortable for him. So he's still so good on him for that. But yeah, I mean, it's just they're gonna hype up the fight, talk, and I'm sure they both just got to be done. But they're like, just can't wait to actually settle it in the cage. It's like, you say what you want. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. You know, I mean, it's always a tricky one where you got things to say. You mean it, but you don't get to show it till fight time. So I guarantee you they're just, you know, hyping up the fight. But yeah, good on them.
For sure. And
got people talking.
And Ilia's talked about like going to a 155 fight in Islam. What do you have any thoughts around that? Or?
I mean, he said that straight after his fight and that as well. Like, man, just play like he plays the game. You know what I mean? He knows how to get people talking. And good on him for trying to take obviously that'll be the best thing to do. If you could go there and fight up and still hold your belt while you're doing things like that, yeah, everyone wants to do that. So you're going to call your shot. Whether that happens, different story. But he's calling his shot and he's good on him.
How would you see that fight going between Islam and Ilia if they did meet at 150?
Yeah, I mean, like Islam's really good. You know, I mean, I think Islam's very fit. Islam's very safe. But again, Ilia's the type of guy that he could knock out anyone. So he's got power in them hands, you know what I mean? Everyone knows that. You go in there fighting him, you know that that's his chance of winning. But yeah, it's usually to always bet on someone when they just have a puncher's chance, I feel like you need to show more to be a hot favourite, especially against someone like Islam.
And with Matt, you mentioned if Max does win, does that give an extra motivation to fight him a fourth time, or how does that feel?
Yeah, I'm in a position now where I want to fight in Sydney, and I want to fight, and I want fights that excite me. Fighting for a belt excites me. Fighting just some contender for a contender fight, not exciting. You know what I mean? Well, what excites you? Money, big fights, and gold. You know what I mean? So if he's wearing the gold, cool. You know what I mean? He's done an incredible job, obviously, in his last fight. So right now he's in an incredible position. So yeah, it'd be a big fight. Even though we've already had 3 fights, I feel like the 4th fight will even be bigger, which is a blowout. You would never have thought that a year ago.
You just mentioned then, but tell me about you're flying over to 308. Are you looking to get in the ring there?
Of course, you know what I mean. That's the best way to build up your next fight, especially when you're pretty much guaranteed. There's only very little things that could get in the way. I doubt that happens. So get me in there. Let's amp it up and call the date here in February as well.